Discover the heartwarming truth behind my inheritance. An incredible revelation changed everything. Sam stared at the tattered envelope, her heart racing as she tore it open. The scent of fresh cherry pie from the diner drifted in through the window, comforting yet distant. Inside lay a letter revealing an inheritance from a distant relative she'd never known. An inheritance that felt more like a fairy tale than reality. Just moments ago, she'd been juggling plates and serving coffee, the grit of her daily struggles etched into her brow. Now, a world of wealth previously unimagined lay at her fingertips. It seemed impossible. She was just Sam, a resilience-steeped waitress and single mother, tirelessly running the diner while pouring her life into her 10-year-old son, Leo. The struggles she faced were palpable, juggling two jobs, the worry in her chest as she counted coins for groceries, and the fierce pride she felt for her late father, a noble Vietnam veteran. His sacrifices echoed in her thoughts, serving as both a comfort and a reminder of the burdens she bore alone. She breathed in the warm scent of home and baked goods swirling around her. Yet now whispers rippled through town. How can she belong to that world? They wondered. Envy had a way of tightening smiles and flipping nods into sharp glances, turning praises into doubts. And Leo, bless his heart, felt the weight of those looks, the boy who just wanted to be seen and valued. He flinched under the spotlight that suddenly illuminated their lives. "Mom," he said one evening, his voice barely above a whisper. "What if this money changes everything? What if people look at us differently?" The concern in his wide, innocent eyes tugged at her heart. The last thing she wanted was for her boy, her anchor, to feel overshadowed by fortune, as if love could be bought or sold. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Determined to dig deeper, Sam started unraveling the mysteries tucked between the dusty pages of her family history. Secrets long buried started to emerge, revealing buried tensions with people she'd once considered close friends. The revelations were overwhelming, like a bubble ready to burst. Just when she thought hope flickered out, Leo spoke again, sharing his desire to feel appreciated and understood, igniting something fierce inside her. As the town prepared for the annual harvest festival, the tension thickened in the air. There was laughter, but it felt strange smiles that didn't quite reach eyes. Sam stood at the edge of the festival, heart pounding. It was a moment when she had to decide, embrace this windfall with open arms, or confront the expectations and judgments threatening to drown her. The night darkened, and a storm of emotions gathered on the horizon, pushing her closer to the precipice of a decision that could shift her life. Ignoring the clamoring voices around her, Sam took a deep breath, ready to claim her inheritance, not just in wealth but in the love and strength she knew her family deserved. But lurking beneath the surface was a revelation that could shatter everything she held dear. Would she cling to the vision of a perfect family or redefine it in a way that truly honored her roots? The stage was set, the festival alive, and soon, both her past and future would collide brilliantly. Sam stood at the entrance of the Harvest Festival, hesitant. The colorful lights twinkled like stars against the darkening sky, but they felt like a kaleidoscope of judgment. She could hear the distant laughter of children, the scent of caramel apples wafting through the air, yet the sensations felt muted. This wasn't just a celebration, it was a battleground for her heart. "Mom, look!" Leo exclaimed, his excitement cutting through her fog of worry. He tugged at her sleeve, pointing to a booth overflowing with prizes, his eyes sparkling like the decorations above. Sam's heart warmed at his joy, but it was wrapped tightly in a heaviness she couldn't shake. What if this festival marked a turning point, a moment where their lives veered into uncertain territory? "Let's go check it out," she said, forcing a smile. As they walked through crowds, Sam balled up the insecurities into an internal storm, fighting the whispers cascading around her. She caught snippets of conversations. "Did you hear about the windfall?" And she's just a waitress, each word bashed at her confidence like a relentless wave on a rocky shore. Leo charged ahead, darting to the booth, his laughter echoing behind him. Sam watched him, the way his small frame lit up like a firefly, carefree and untouched by the shadows forming around them. If only he could stay immersed in this moment forever, where nothing mattered but fun and family time. As she approached the booth, a lady in a bright apron caught her eye. "Hello there. Are you Sam?" The woman greeted warmly, a wide smile revealing a welcoming demeanor. Sam nodded cautiously, unsure whether the smile was genuine or wrapped around false pretenses. The woman continued, "I'm June. Your cousin Claire is going to be here soon. She wanted to meet you." The name ignited a flicker of recognition. Claire? From the stories her father once told, she remembered tales filled with distant laughter and bubbling mischief. "Claire?" Sam echoed, a mixture of hope and nostalgia stirring within her. The woman nodded, enthusiastic, as if unleashing a treasure chest of connections. Before Sam could respond, Leo tugged at her shirt again, his eyes darting between Sam and the unfolding excitement. "Mom, can we win something?" That innocent plea brought Sam back to reality. Could she shield Leo from the complexities of their new situation? She crouched beside him, her heart swelling with affection. Winning something would be fun. "Let us see what we can do." As they played games and won a stuffed bear, hugs and laughter filled the gaps in Sam's worries, if only momentarily. Yet, in the background, an undercurrent of uncertainty surged. Was claiming this inheritance worth the price of their peace? Leo clutched the bear tightly, beaming up at her, and, for a second, the world outside ceased to exist. But as she scanned the crowd, she saw familiar faces drifting in and out. Some smiled, masks of enthusiasm painted over skepticism. Others stood at a distance, eyes narrowed in judgment. "Mom?" Leo's voice interrupted her spiraling thoughts. "Can we take a picture?" His request clutched at her heartstrings. It sounded simple, innocent. But standing there, she realized every photograph would carry the weight of their complicated identities. "Of course, sweetie." As they posed together under a cascade of lights, Sam felt conflicting emotions surge: joy, pride, fear. She forced a smile, freezing in time the very essence of their fleeting happiness. This moment showcased love, yet it also hinted at the battles ahead. When they stepped away from the booth, existence shifted. Sam felt eyes upon her, judgment swirling. Would her legacy be one of wealth or wisdom? Her heart pounded, realizing she could no longer run from her heritage. She had to embrace it fully. Tomorrow would bring clarity. She glanced down at Leo, his hopeful gaze shimmering back at her. And just as she took a step forward, a familiar face emerged from the crowd, a storm about to crash into their fragile world. "Sam, we need to talk." The words traveled through the air like an impending gust of wind. What would this encounter lead to? Sam froze, her breath catching in her throat. The voice was unmistakable, slicing through the noise of the festival like a knife. It was Clara, the cousin she had barely known but remembered vividly from her father's stories. Her dark hair framed her face, and her expression was serious, but there was a warmth in her gaze that felt both inviting and intimidating. "Claire," Sam managed to say, her heart pounding. She glanced at Leo, whose innocent curiosity was now mixed with confusion. "What is going on? Can we step aside? Just for a minute?" Claire's eyes flicked nervously to the crowd as if anticipating a wave of judgment. Sam nodded and led Leo toward a quieter area, anxiously aware of the people around them. As they settled near a stall selling homemade crafts, Claire took a deep breath, her hand fiddling with a bracelet on her wrist. "I know this is all a bit unexpected. I heard you're considering the inheritance." Sam felt a chill creep down her spine at the mention of the word inheritance. It loomed over them like a shadow. "Yeah, I mean it's complicated," she admitted, glancing down at Leo, who was busy inspecting his new stuffed bear. Claire leaned in closer. "I need you to understand something. It's not just about money or property. It's about family. About what you're stepping into. What do you mean? Sam asked, her voice a mixture of anxiety and curiosity. There's a lot you don't know. Our family has faced some tough choices. Difficult sacrifices, Claire whispered, her gaze intense. If you take on this inheritance, it means embracing the family legacy, both the good and the bad. The words clanged in Sam's ears. I just want what's best for Leo, she replied, feeling an ache in her chest. I don't want him dragged into family drama. Claire sighed, her frustration mingling with empathy. I get it. But by avoiding it, you might be leaving him in the dark. The truth could help bond you, give you strength. The family can be a powerful support, but it's also filled with history. You'll need to navigate it carefully. Sam looked at Leo, who was blissfully unaware of the heavy conversation swirling around him. The festival lights twinkled, laughter ringing in the background, but it felt far away. She wanted so desperately to protect him from all the complexity in her life, to offer him just joy and innocence. What do I even need to know? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. Just that there are sides to this story. Secrets waiting to be uncovered. If you don't confront it, it could make everything worse. Trust me, I've been down a similar road. Sam wondered what Claire meant by that. What had she faced? Slowly, the weight of Claire's words began to sink in, mingling with her fears and dreams for Leo's future. What if she didn't seize this moment? Okay, she said, her resolve firming. Tell me. I'm ready to listen. Just then, Leo called out to her, his voice breaking her concentration. Mom, can we get some cotton candy? His cheerful exuberance brought a smile to her face, and for a fleeting second, the chaos faded. But Claire's expression deepened, ushering in a seriousness that momentarily clouded the joy. Sam, one more thing. Claire hesitated, searching for the right words. The hesitation gnawed at Sam's gut. You might want to prepare for a surprise. It all connects back to your dad. And to our family's future. A sinking feeling settled in Sam's stomach. What kind of surprise? An ominous wave pushed through her. What do you mean? She pressed. Claire took a step closer, shadows darkening her features as she whispered, Tomorrow, you might discover the truth about your inheritance, and it could change everything. What did Claire know that could shake the foundation of Sam's thoughts? With uncertainty swirling around her, Sam braced herself for the revelations to come. Tomorrow certainly promised more than she ever expected would it unravel or reinforce the fragile threads of her new life. Sam felt her heart race as Claire's words echoed in her mind. Tomorrow. The word loomed over her like a storm cloud, dark and heavy, leaving her unsure of what she would face. She cast another glance at Leo, who was joyfully spinning in circles, his laughter ringing out above the festival's noise. If only life could be as carefree as it seemed for him. Mom, look. Leo pulled her from her thoughts, holding up his bear as if it were the most precious treasure in the world. Can we take a picture with it? A smile broke through the anxiety that wrapped tightly around her. Sure, sweetheart, she replied, crouching down to his level. She snapped a few photos, capturing the joy that radiated from him. But as she clicked the camera, each flash felt like a reminder of the uncertainty waiting just around the corner. As they continued through the festival, Sam's thoughts were a turbulent mix of excitement and dread. How could she possibly prepare for whatever revelation awaited her? Every instinct screamed at her to shield Leo from whatever darkness lingered in the corners of her family's past. Yet Claire's concern weighed heavily on her. What if facing the past was the key to securing a brighter future for them both? Mom, can I have more cotton candy? Leo asked, his eyes wide with innocence. Of course. Let's get you some. She led him toward a colorful stall adorned with swirling cotton candy. The vendor handed Leo a massive pink treat that he immediately attacked with glee. Watching him eat, she realized she could only hope the delight in his eyes would remain untouched by her family's complexities. As she stood there, it occurred to her how absurd it was that something as simple as cotton candy could be a source of happiness, while looming questions about family overshadowed their joy. Claire might be right, Sam thought. It's time to face the truth, head on. Finishing the cotton candy, Leo tugged on Sam's hand. Can we go on the Ferris wheel? The idea thrilled her. Absolutely, she exclaimed. They joined the line, the anticipation swelling inside her chest with each step closer to the ride. It felt strangely freeing, as if with each turn of the wheel, she could lift off the ground and leave all her worries behind. As they settled into the car, Leo's grin was infectious. Mom, look. We're so high. He pointed down at the festival, tiny figures moving about like ants. For that moment, Sam could ignore the gnawing anxiety, afraid of what she might learn tomorrow, and just be present. The Ferris wheel began to turn slowly, offering a view of the entire festival. Beneath the glittering lights and laughter, something deeper simmered in her veins. Claire's warning lingered like a shadow on the precipice of her mind, ready to spill into the light. What if tomorrow changes everything? She whispered, mostly to herself. As they reached the top, the world seemed to pause around her. With the warm breeze brushing against her face, she took a deep breath, feeling both grounded and utterly lost at the same time. Mom, Leo exclaimed, his joy breaking through her reverie. Look at the fireworks. Vivid colors erupted over the night sky, gold, red, and blue painting the darkness in fleeting brilliance. Each explosion of light felt like a promise, a fleeting moment of hope that maybe the future wouldn't be as dire as she feared. Maybe, in discovering the truth, she would finally understand her family's legacy in a way that could strengthen their bond. But as the last firework fizzled into a fading sparkle, something in her gut churned. She had pushed aside so many uncertainties for the sake of simplicity, yet the time to face them was approaching quickly. Sam, a voice whispered, breaking through her thoughts. It was Claire, standing just beyond the Ferris wheel's platform. With wide, solemn eyes, she seemed to carry the weight of 100 secrets. Are you ready for tomorrow? Sam's heart pounded in answer, but her voice felt lost within her. What awaited them could unravel everything she knew or lead them to a place of understanding that could unite them. Are you ready to find out? Claire asked again, the question hanging heavily in the night air like an unresolved melody, and as Sam stared into Claire's eyes, she could only feel the tremors of uncertainty, both overwhelming and inviting. Tomorrow didn't just promise change, it held within it the echoes of their family's past. It was time to discover it all, the good, the bad, and everything in between. What would she learn? And how would it redefine everything they thought they understood? In that moment, she wondered if the real journey was not just about the inheritance, but about unearthing the heart of what it meant to be family. The morning sun spilled into Sam's room, casting a warm glow on the walls, but the light did little to brighten her spirits. She lay still, staring at the ceiling as the echoes of yesterday lingered in her mind. Today was the day. Her heart raced, and she could almost feel the weight of the secrets pressing down on her. Mom, are we going to go? Leo's voice broke through her thoughts, innocent yet filled with anticipation. He was already dressed, his little face beaming with enthusiasm. She could see the eagerness in his eyes, and for a moment, it warmed her heart. She longed for that carefree spirit she had seen in the festival. Yeah, buddy. Just give me a minute. Sam pushed herself out of bed, trying to shake off the heaviness that clung to her. The walls of the house seemed to close in as she prepared, each step toward breakfast a reminder of the conversation with Claire. The air was thick with uncertainty, and the fun they'd had at the festival felt like a distant memory. After a hurried breakfast filled with Leo's chatter about what they might discover, they were finally ready to leave. Sam grabbed her coat, her stomach flipping as they walked to the car. Her nerves danced wildly. Was she ready to face whatever disclosure awaited them? As they drove to Claire's house, she remained quiet, her mind consumed with questions. Leo chatted about school, his excitement bubbling over, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing within his mother. Sam wanted to wrap him in her arms and shield him from whatever might emerge today, but she couldn't. It was a weight she had to bear. Arriving at Claire's, the house looked the same. A quaint two-story with a garden that held memories of their family's gatherings, laughter that echoed like ghosts in the yard. Sam felt nostalgia mix with a sense of dread. She needed to do this for herself, for Leo, for their future. Come on, Mom. Leo tugged at her hand, his small fingers warm and trusting. I want to see Claire. Okay, I'm right behind you. She followed him inside, feeling like an actor stepping onto a stage, unsure of the lines she was about to deliver. Claire met them at the door, her expression a mix of warmth and something deeper. I'm glad you made it, she said softly, ushering them in. I know today won't be easy, but we need to talk about everything. Is it bad? Leo asked, innocent curiosity shining in his eyes. No, not bad, Claire reassured him, her voice steady but laced with emotion. Just important. Sam felt a sharp pang at the thought of dragging Leo into this web of family secrets, but she had promised him honesty. Today was about understanding, about peeling back the layers that had long hidden their truths. Settling at the kitchen table, Sam caught Claire's gaze. It was time. With a shaky breath, she asked, So what do we need to talk about? Claire's eyes fell, taking a moment before meeting Sam's again. It's about your mother, our family history. There are things I've kept from you, things that may change how you view everything. Sam clenched her fists under the table. What do you mean? This is harder than it seems. I promise it's not all bad. You need to know the full story. Feeling each heartbeat ring louder, Sam watched her son's innocent awareness fade a little. There was no turning back now. Whatever Claire had to say could reshape how they understood their legacy. Claire hesitated, her expression wavering with the weight of the revelations ahead. When I tell you, you'll need to decide how you want to move forward. Sam held her breath, realizing she was on the brink of a transformative moment. The shadows of the past danced behind her, ready to be brought into the light. Leo, sensing the tension, spoke up. Can we still go ice cream after this? A small laugh escaped Sam. Of course, sweetheart. But first, let us find out what Claire has to say. As Claire opened her mouth to begin, Sam felt that familiar tug of uncertainty, mixed with a flicker of hope. This was the moment that could change everything. What truth lay hidden in the shadows of their past? And how would it transform their future? With a deep breath, she braced herself for the storm that was about to unfold. Claire took a moment, her gaze drifting to the window where sunlight broke through the trees, casting fleeting shadows across the table. Sam's heart raced, each second stretching like an eternity, every tick of the clock blurting out the urgency that filled her chest. Your mother, she had her secrets, Claire finally started, her voice soft, yet trembling. Secrets that she believed would protect you. But it's time you knew the truth, Sam. Sam felt a knot in her stomach tighten. What do you mean? What kind of secrets? She wasn't just your mother, Claire continued, her tone more somber. She was part of a family with a legacy and responsibilities that came with it. Leo's curious gaze flickered back and forth between them, sensing the tension but unable to grasp its weight. Sam reached over and squeezed his hand, her fingers brushing against the warmth of his small palm, grounding herself in that innocent connection. Legacy? What kind of responsibilities? Sam pressed, urgency bleeding into her words. Beneath it all, fear curled within her. Would learning this truth tear apart the fragile pieces of the life they'd built? Claire inhaled sharply, her eyes locking on Sam. Your mother was a part of something much bigger than the life you know. It tied to our family's past, our ancestry. She had to make a choice to protect you from it, something she thought was dangerous. What was dangerous? Sam's voice trembled. Claire's gaze shifted, almost as if she was searching for the right words amidst a jumble of emotions. She did something brave. She walked away from her family's expectations to forge her own path, but those ties don't break easily. When she came to find some peace in her life, she built a new home here and you. The edges of Sam's vision blurred. There was a chasm between the life she imagined and what Claire was revealing. So she kept me in the dark? Was she running away? Not running away, but running towards something, her freedom from a legacy that had hurt her family, Claire clarified gently. But the past has a way of catching up. There are things, people who will want answers. Leo's thumb danced on her hand, reminding her of the reality before them. She needed to protect him from any consequence of decisions made long before his time. And what does that mean for us? For Leo? A heavy silence hung in the air like a storm cloud, and Claire hesitated. I don't know, her voice broke slightly. But there are choices that must be made. Do we keep this hidden? Or do we face it together? Together, Sam echoed instinctively, but the depth of her own uncertainty seeped through. How could she confront the unknown without risking Leo's peace? The word hung in the air, echoing in her mind. Together. But was it really possible? Maybe we should think, Sam began, but Claire interjected. Don't think too long. If your mother's past comes knocking, you need to be ready. Claire's words were firm, grounded. Remember, keeping truth buried doesn't protect anyone. It only grows heavier. Sam felt the profound weight of Claire's gaze and the piercing honesty behind it. Suddenly, she was strapped to a roller coaster of emotions, rising to dizzying heights, her heart pounding. Leo tugged on her hand. Can we really have ice cream after this? His innocence anchored her, but a shadow of dread loomed over the promise. Yes, sweetheart, she whispered, forcing a smile. There's always ice cream. Claire continued, her expression softening. I'll support you. I'll help you uncover the truth, but remember, there's a cost involved in knowing. Cost? Sam echoed, her heart racing again. What kind of cost? Claire hesitated for a heartbeat longer, the gravity of the moment hanging heavily. What if knowing changes everything? What are you willing to lose? Sam gasped, her breath hitching in her throat. Was she ready for that? She glanced at Leo, who was blissfully unaware of the storm brewing. Yet another truth loomed over their lives, waiting to be faced. We have to decide, Claire urged. How we confront this could change everything. What lay ahead? Would she dare to confront the dark corridors of her past to protect Leo's future? And more importantly, would they all come out the other side together? Sam's mind raced as she held her son close, attempting to shield him from the rising waves threatening to engulf them. She steeled her resolve. This was only the beginning. Tell me everything, she said, the determination sweeping through her. And with that, the journey into the heart of their family history began. What would they uncover? Sam inhaled deeply, her heart still thumping in her chest as Claire's eyes glistened with unspoken emotions. Where do we even start? She asked, feeling a wave of uncertainty crash over her. Every moment felt heavy with meaning, and the stakes climbed higher with each word that hung in the air. Claire's expression softened. With your mother's choice, the one that changed everything. She was torn between two worlds. The one she was born into and the one she chose for you, and for herself. Sam felt the ground shift beneath her. But why couldn't she tell me? What was she so afraid of? There are things about our family you may find hard to understand, Claire replied. Our history isn't just a simple story of love and loss. It comes with shadows that stretch far and wide. Your mother believed that the legacy belonged to the past, that you should have a clean slate. But what if the past isn't done with us? What if it finds us? The weight of those words pressed down on her like a stone. Claire's shoulders slumped slightly, as if the burden felt heavier. That's exactly why we need to unearth the truth. It's not just about knowing, it's about understanding how it shapes us. Some of those ties are still alive. Sam's chest tightened. What do you mean alive? If they're still here, then what does that mean for Leo? Claire looked away, a flicker of fear passing through her eyes. It means we need to be prepared for what might come. There will be those who want to pull you back, to pull both of you back into a world you don't want to visit. Leo, sensing the shift in atmosphere, pulled closer to Sam. Is it just stories? He asked, his voice innocent, yet full of concern. In that moment, Sam realized it wasn't just her past they were protecting. It was Leo's future, and somewhere, buried beneath layers of secrecy, there was a truth that could shatter everything she thought she knew. Story or not, Sam murmured, forcing her voice steady, I'm not letting anyone dictate our lives ever again. I'll face it head on if that's what it takes. Claire nodded, a mix of pride and sadness in her gaze. That's the spirit. It's not going to be easy, but knowing is a step toward freedom, even if it's painful. As the sun dipped lower, casting elongated shadows around the room, a faint buzzing filled the silence, pulling Sam's attention to her phone lying on the table. She picked it up, glancing briefly at the screen. Her heart dropped. There was a message from an unknown number. "What's wrong?" Claire asked, noticing the color drain from Sam's face. It's someone asking about my mother," Sam replied, her voice shaking. "It says they need to talk." The air turned electric in an instant. Sam's mind raced. This might finally be the connection they needed, or a dangerous unraveling. The idea of facing whoever was behind that message filled her with both dread and an unquenchable thirst for answers. "Do you think?" Claire hesitated, her expression turning serious. "Do you think that's someone from her past?" "I don't know," Sam whispered, her heart pounding wildly as she considered the implications. "But I can't ignore it." Leo tugged on her hand again, his small face glancing between them, wide-eyed. "Can we still get ice cream?" A grim smile broke through Sam's tension. "Yes, buddy. But I think we may need to hold off for just a bit." She turned to Claire, seeking affirmation. "What do you think? Should I respond?" Claire looked into Sam's eyes, a silent understanding passing between them. "Yes. You need to know. We all do." With resolve, Sam took a deep breath. The waves of uncertainty crashed over her once more, but this time with a faint spark of hope. "All right," she murmured, fingers trembling as she tapped out a reply. "Let us see where this takes us." What awaited them? Would the conversation lead to clarity or deeper chaos? As Sam hit send, the silence in the room grew thick with anticipation. Her heart raced, each second stretching into what felt like an eternity. She kept staring at her phone, as if willing it to vibrate or ring, to deliver the answers that seemed just out of reach. Claire watched her closely, a wild mix of fear and encouragement flitting across her features. Leo, oblivious to the tension, pulled out his toy dinosaur and began making low growling noises. It was an innocent distraction, and Sam couldn't help but smile at his childish exuberance. She ruffled his hair, grateful for the lightness he brought to the moment. "Can we really do this, Claire?" Sam finally spoke, still not taking her eyes off the phone. "What if this message changes everything?" Claire's gaze turned solemn. "Sometimes change is necessary, even when it feels overwhelming. You hold the key to your own story, Sam." Just then, her phone buzzed, breaking the fragile atmosphere. Sam quickly picked it up, the screen lighting up with a new message. The unknown number felt ominous, the words just waiting to jump out at her. With clenched fists, she opened it. "Meet me at the old library. I have information about your mother. It's urgent." A chill slipped down her spine. The old library had always had an eerie reputation, a relic of the past tucked away in the town's forgotten corners. It was the kind of place that held ghosts in its dusty shelves and secrets in its silence. "What does it say?" Claire asked, leaning in closer, her brow furrowed with concern. "It feels like a trap," Sam said, her voice barely above a whisper. Fear threatened to overwhelm her, but she forced herself to keep her head clear. "But it's about my mother. I can't walk away from that, can I?" "No," Claire replied, determination flushing her cheeks. "You deserve answers, Sam. Just remember, no matter what happens, we'll face it together." Leo had grown still, sensing the shift. "Can I come too? I want to help." His big eyes sparkled with a mixture of bravery and innocence. The urge to protect him surged in Sam's chest. "No, buddy," she said softly, resting her hand gently on his shoulder. "This might be too dangerous. I need you to stay with Claire." "But I want ice cream," he protested. It was a simple plea, one that made Sam's heart ache. "We'll get ice cream soon, I promise," she assured him, trying to balance the weight of the moment with his childlike wish. "But this is something I have to do alone." As she glanced into Claire's trusting eyes again, Sam's resolve hardened. "All right, let us go to the library." "I can't let fear control me." Claire nodded, standing up. "Let us do this, but let us stay sharp. There's no telling who we might run into there." Sam took a deep breath, clenching Leo's hand tightly for a moment before letting go, not wanting to show her hesitation. She sent a brief response to the unknown number, confirming she'd meet at the library. As they stepped outside, the sun began its descent, painting the sky with fiery hues. Sam felt each heartbeat align with the thrum of adrenaline coursing through her. They walked side by side, Claire's reassuring presence beside her like an anchor amidst the storm. But what lay ahead? Shadows intertwined with her mother's past, and everything felt precarious. Was she ready to unearth the darkness clinging to her family? With each step, she wondered if this would lead her closer to the truth she sought or down a path she'd hoped to avoid forever. The library loomed in the distance, its silhouette stark against the sinking sun. Sam hesitated for a moment, a knot tightening in her stomach. What if this was where it all fell apart? Are you ready? Claire's voice broke through her thoughts, laden with encouragement. Ready or not, here we go, Sam murmured, stepping forward, trepidation mingled with an undeniable need for clarity. Once inside, shadows danced on the walls, and the smell of old paper enveloped them. Every creaking floorboard screamed secrets, and as they moved deeper into the library, a feeling of being watched settled in the air. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the maze of shelves. The flickering fluorescent light cast a strange glow around the person, making it hard to see their expression. Sam, the voice cut through the murmur of paper and air, and her breath caught in her throat. You came just like I knew you would. Who is this stranger? What did they know? Sam's heart raced again, uncertainty hanging heavy in the air. Who are you? Sam managed to whisper, heart pounding with fear and courage battling within her. The figure stepped closer, and in the dim light, a familiar face came into view. With it, a torrent of memory surged forward. Your mother, she sent me. What secrets were buried within this encounter? Would Sam find the truth, or would she uncover more questions? Sam's heart raced, caught in a whirlwind of emotions as the figure stepped closer. The dim light revealed her face, Allison, a family friend from years ago. But her presence sparked a flurry of emotions, confusion, nostalgia, and above all, fear. She had once been a comforting figure, a source of laughter during carefree days. Now, Allison's gaze was intense, almost pleading. Why are you here? What do you know about my mother? Sam demanded, her voice steady despite the turmoil roiling within her. Claire stood by her side, a protective barrier as they faced this unexpected reunion. Allison's expression softened, and she ran a trembling hand through her hair. I know this is overwhelming, but I promise I'm here to help you. She glanced around the darkening library, her voice lowering. Your mother, she left messages for you. Important ones. I found them after her voice trailed off, heavy with unspoken words. It's true. Claire, sensing the shift, stepped forward. If you have any information, no matter how small, it could help Sam understand. The air buzzed with tension as Allison took a breath, as if summoning courage from deep within. Your mother feared for you. She didn't want you to know, but there were things going on, things that could hurt you if you got too close to the truth. Sam's heart sank. Memories flashed through her mind, her mother's fleeting looks of sadness, the late-night whispers behind closed doors. She realized now those weren't just moments of worry, they were cryptic warnings. What do you mean? What was she so afraid of? Sam pressed, her breath catching. There's something hidden, the reason why she cut ties with those who would have protected her. Allison's eyes glistened with urgency. There's a dark past, Sam, and you have the right to know, but it's dangerous. They're still out there. Who is still out there? Claire interrupted, her voice sharp. She looked at Sam, ready to defend her friend no matter the cost. With a sudden shift in demeanor, Allison lowered her voice further. The people who forced her to hide, to keep her past a secret. They're still monitoring you, watching to see if you uncover the truth. They think you'd lead them to her. Panic bubbled in Sam's chest. The idea of being watched felt suffocating. Had all those peculiar glances from strangers meant something? Were they traps patiently waiting to spring? What do you want me to do? Sam asked, feeling more lost than ever. Allison sighed. You need to find the notes she wrote. They hold the key to understanding everything. But you must be careful. There are others who would stop at nothing to keep you from uncovering what's yours. Then let us find them, Claire interjected boldly, determination lacing every word. We can't let fear win. Allison glanced between the two friends, a flicker of something almost like admiration crossing her face. It's not that simple. You'll have to face people who will manipulate and try to drive you away. You might even have to confront your mother's past directly. Before Sam could respond, a loud noise echoed through the library. Books tumbled from the shelves, the ground shaking slightly beneath them. Sam's heart leaped into her throat as a low voice broke through the quiet, deep and menacing. "What are you doing here?" The threat lingered in the air, and with it came an urgency that pushed the trio into action. Sam exchanged a panicked glance with Claire. "We need to go now." As Sam turned to flee, the shadows of the library seemed to twist and loom larger, pulling her in with every anxious heartbeat. The walls felt like they were closing in, the path ahead a maze of uncertainty and dread. "Wait," Allison called after them. "You don't know all the dangers ahead." But with that voice chasing them, Sam's determination solidified. If her mother's secrets were dark, she was ready to shine a light on them. She wouldn't stand back any longer. She had to change everything, even if it meant confronting the very nightmare her mother had tried to shield her from. What lay at the end of this newfound journey? Would she dare unearth the truths buried deep within her family? As the trio burst out of the library, Sam felt the weight of shadows trailing behind them. Claire held Leo's hand tightly while Sam grasped the lingering fear in the pit of her stomach. They darted into the fading sunlight, hearts pounding like drums of war, instinct pushing them to run faster and farther from the creeping dread inside. "Where do we go?" Leo's voice trembled, innocence still wrapped around him like a protective cloak. Sam's heart ached for her son, who shouldn't he have to bear such burdens. She turned to Claire, who was already scanning the street for signs of trouble. "Let's south head to my place for now," Claire urged, her voice steady though her eyes reflected the swirl of anxiety. "It's safe there at least for the moment." Nods of agreement echoed in the tiny space, and in a blur of motion, they rushed toward the comfort of Claire's home. Sam's mind was a cacophony of thoughts, grappling with the reality of her mother's dangerous past, the looming threats, and the responsibility she had just taken on. Once inside, she barricaded the door, breathless. The air was thick with tension, and she turned to find Leo staring up at her, brows furrowed. "What is going to happen, Mom?" he asked, his voice small. Taking a deep breath, she knelt beside him, smoothing back his hair. "First, we're safe. But we need to talk. I promise you are the most important part of all of this, Leo. I'll protect you." Claire joined them at the kitchen table, her expression softening. "We all need to come together. This isn't just about your mother's past, Sam. It's about your future. You have to know who you are." "I'm scared," Leo admitted, his voice barely a whisper. Sam wrapped her arms around him, holding him close. "I know, sweetheart. But sometimes, we have to face our fears to find out who we really are. We can't let fear control us forever. Right?" Claire nodded, uplifting their spirits. "No matter what comes, weakness won't be an option. This is the moment to dig deeper. Can you be strong for your family?" Sam inhaled deeply, determination flooding her veins. "Yes, we can do this. I have to find those notes Allison mentioned. We need the answers." With the sun sinking below the horizon, they gathered around the table. As the shadows crept in through the windows, the room felt smaller, the weight of unanswered questions pressing heavily down. "Let us retrace your mother's past," Claire suggested, laying out family photographs and documents on the table. Together, they began to sort through the remnants of the family history. Each picture painted a fragment of lives intertwined with love and sacrifice. Sam's heart raced as she recalled her mother's laughter, moments that now felt tainted by the veil of secrets. Suddenly, Leo pointed at a photograph of a group of people, her mother standing proudly amidst a backdrop that looked like the old library. She was happy then, wasn't she? Tears brimmed in Sam's eyes. Yes, she was. But something happened that changed everything. A shadow flicked past the window, and they all froze, adrenaline pulsing through them. What was that? Leo gasped, uncertainty seeping through him like a chilling draft. Claire grabbed Sam's hand, grounding them both. "Stay quiet. We have to see what's going on." As they peered cautiously through the curtain, a silhouette loomed outside, menacing and unknown. The figures were familiar, yet Sam felt curdled fear rise within her. Realizing this was more than a mere coincidence, she turned back to Leo. "We have to hide now." Before further panic could settle, they scrambled into the nearby pantry. Sam's breath caught as the darkness wrapped around them. She held Leo close, feeling his heartbeat against her side. "Everything will be okay," she whispered fiercely, drawing strength from her own words. The voices grew louder. "We know you're in there, Sam." The deep voice penetrated the sanctuary of the pantry. "You can't run forever. We need to talk." It was clear. The past had arrived, sharp and unyielding, ripping through the comfort they had built. But Sam's spirit blazed fiercely. "No," she thought. "It's time to reclaim my narrative." In a moment of clarity, she turned to Claire. "Open the door. We can't let them intimidate us." Claire's eyes widened, but lit with approval. "We're ready together." With renewed hope and the courage born from the bond they shared, they stepped out of hiding. As Sam pulled the door open, the shadows, once daunting, transformed into a platform. The confrontation would shine light on everything: her mother's choices, the family's legacy, and the true meaning of belonging. "Who do you think you are?" Sam shouted, her voice strong and unwavering. "You don't get to dictate how my story ends." And just like that, Sam realized she was not just the bearer of secrets, but a fierce protector of her family's truth. Her heart raced, not with fear, but with the thrill of standing her ground. The path ahead was uncertain, but bravely going forward meant she would redefine what it meant to belong, not only to her past, but to the shining future she would craft for Leo. As the sun dipped into darkness, illuminating their brave faces, it was clear that change was on the horizon, a transformation fueled by love, determination, and an unwavering commitment to unite as a family. It was the beginning of their story, a story they would write together hand in hand. This is the moment. You need to subscribe now so you never miss a transformative tale like this again. Leave a like now to bolster our reach and keep this journey alive. Comment below sharing your thoughts and reactions about this emotional ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who also need to see how incredible it is to embrace family and face the past. Your support is essential.